Hello and welcome to Thursdays with Culture Talk. Cynthia and I thought we'd invite you outside today to our virtual studio, and it's a great day here in upstate New York for a little fire. It's getting a little chilly. What about in Colorado, Cynthia?
Yeah, yes, it's a little chilly in Denver this morning as well. And I'm just noticing that the fire is actually outside. That's awesome.
That's right. We're at an outdoor fire, and we welcome you to join us for our conversation. We've actually had a lot of conversations this week. Over the past few days, we've had the chance to touch base with our partner community and hear what's important to them and what's going on. And there's some themes that are running through that we wanted to share with you this week. We've talked to people from Manchester and Glasgow in the UK, from Florida in the US, and from here in the capital region, from Albany, New York, and from Singapore and other places around the world. And some of the themes that we're hearing are all about working with leaders and with teams, and how the opportunity right now is so strong, and the potential to take the work that our partners are doing with Archetypes and with Culture Talk to help teams to build on their strengths, to help leaders to take their own stories and what they're good at, and to weave them into the narrative and the story and the goals for the organization. So some interesting themes that we're hearing more than ever right now. We're hearing that teams need to connect, that they need an opportunity, maybe like we're doing today, get out of the office, go to an offsite and to connect.
Yeah, I even had the opportunity this week to go to an offsite with one of our CultureTalk Certified Partners, their team, which was a really great experience.
Yeah. So this really relates to some of the things that we've been talking about as well this week at Culture Talk, kind of getting to know one another, right, Sen?
Yeah, absolutely. So we thought today we would just focus on a few ways that archetypes and the system of archetypes helps teams gel, helps them work well together, helps them, enhance their performance and their outcomes in terms of teamwork. First, when a team goes through an archetype experience, one of the things that we notice is that they get to know each other faster and better in a deeper way. We know that building trust is absolutely fundamental to making teamwork work. And when teams start by being grounded in archetypes, they build trust quickly. They feel like these stories and getting to know each other that way provides like a shortcut and allows people to show up fully, if you will, bring their whole selves to work, to feel like they are seen and that they are safe being seen through the stories of their lives. And as they get to know each other better, something that happens often is that they begin to appreciate the diversity on the team. And I don't mean the diversity in terms of the way we might typically think about diversity. I mean diversity of perspective that we get to see through archetype patterns, diversity of motivation. They get to see not only, where they have differences in terms of their perspective and what motivates them, but also that they might share certain storylines, certain archetypes with other people on the team that don't look like them, right? So it's a different lens on diversity that often as we're using narrative and story to get to know each other, we appreciate each other in a different way. We know where people are coming from in a different way. So there's this compassion that grows on teams as well.
Yeah, I'll never forget one experience I had after a training session where someone leaving the room said to me, I learned more about my colleagues in the last 4 hours than I have over the last 4 years. So there's that speed that you're talking about, the ability to kind of drop right into understanding and clarity when you're using archetypes as a tool.
I'll share another experience where I was working with the team and saw someone on the team who might have, been more reserved, kind of just totally blossom and open up when she had an opportunity to share some really, key moments in the course of her life that she was almost like she could see herself differently and had all of a sudden this comfort in showing up, and feeling okay being a little bit more vulnerable about what she shared with the team. So again, a great trust builder, coming from that space that we're human first and that these archetypes are just human storylines.
Yeah. So once you have that new understanding and the connection, there's an opportunity to do two important things. One is increase the effectiveness of collaboration, another really critical element and skill that we need our teams to have. So once we recognize what each other's strengths are and the ways that we might struggle, we can step in to form, sort of right seat on the bus kind of teams. We can encourage and support the development of skills and strengths that somebody needs in order to step up and to grow professionally and to be a better contributor. And we can also remove from people things that they just are not good at, it does not play to their strengths, and they hate doing. So I've seen examples of people actually swapping responsibilities right in the course of a session, because it's kind of like, what? You don't like that? Yes, I struggle every day, I hate it. And another person saying, I've been dying to do that. And so literally the ability to really work to the strengths of the team and to encourage and support each other for growth. And then the inevitable conflicts. We're human and we are going to bump into one another. That part, we're not trying to avoid all conflict, but rather to get clear on, how do I solve it? How do I anticipate the challenges along the way and sort of open my brain to how can I, be more successful in working through these things and in resolving conflict when it does arise. And so not seeing it as, a huge obstacle, but rather an opportunity to work through it. When you understand what someone else's motivation is, where where their heart is, where they're coming from, what they're trying to achieve, and potentially the things that they get, that get them stuck. So when you can look at that for yourself first, and then for the people on your team, there's a real opportunity to use the archetypes and the knowledge that comes through that there.
Yeah, it's almost like a healthy conflict then, right? And we've seen, I'm thinking of one of our partners in particular who have used kind of the patterning of archetypes to help two co-leaders really work through those moments when they're kind of at each other. Like, well, what are we each wired to see, and where can we find some middle ground? So a very different approach to conflict.
Yep.
So those are some ideas about archetypes and teams. We thank you for joining us for another Thursdays with Culture Talk. We're always happy to hear your questions, get your feedback. We have training programs. If you'd like to learn more about our certification, we have another one coming up October 14th. Drop us a note and we're happy to share more.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. Have a good week.
Enjoy the fire.